Hi, this is Jeff Lesher with What's the Point? And this is another in the F-bomb series as summer continues. And the F-bomb this week is fine line. Where is that line between doing enough of something that's good or creating a good and doing it to the point where maybe it becomes bad? There are two articles that inspired me to speak to this topic, two articles that I am making available to my mailing list. If you're not on the list, please hit me up through Facebook or LinkedIn. Let me know how I can add you to the list and I'll send you these articles. They both appeared in the Wall Street Journal, and you can look them up yourself if you prefer. And one has to do with the link between pay and job satisfaction, and the other asks the question about whether people can be too highly engaged and what happens when they are. Now, both of these are based on single points or thin research, so don't take them on their face as being the absolute gospel, and be informed, be aware, continue to iterate and ideate based on the desire that you have as a leader to drive higher performance by better engaging your people, and you may be making a mistake or missing something if you don't pay attention to what could be true drawing on each of these articles. So let's start with pay and job satisfaction. The findings of the study essentially are these. If we work for a company, we want the pay to roughly equate to what we think our fair piece of the action is. If we're working for a struggling company and there isn't much to be had, we will have, relative to the rest of the groups assessed, the lowest level of job satisfaction. We may be worried about job security. There may be the absence of other perks as well because of the financial challenge of the organization. But we're concerned, and our satisfaction relative to pay tends to be the lowest. What's interesting is on the other end of the spectrum, if we work for a company doing very well, we have very high expectations of what our fair piece of the action is. And if we don't feel that we're getting it from that company, our job satisfaction also suffers, not to the extent of the people working for the struggling company, but not good. Negative, moving in the wrong direction. In the middle is we're working for a company that's doing well and we feel like we're getting our fair shake. That's when job satisfaction is the highest. That makes sense. What that level is, that's part of the ongoing conversation and ongoing external analysis that you should be doing as a good, smart, prescient leader. Now, can people be too highly engaged? And I've spoken before about the occasional person I've encountered who, rather than using vision and values, the purpose of the organization as a tool, they use it as a weapon. They use it to be better than. And I would say that the research that's cited, again, singular in nature, thin in nature, does suggest that people can approach this level of entitlement based on their engagement, their sense of doing good and important work. And what the study suggests is that it can lead them to pick and choose what they think is necessary, which rules to follow, etc., as well as how they interact with others. So both of these are very important if you are, like most of us, in the constant pursuit of finding that magic balance of engagement that leads to the highest level of sustainable performance. We got to pay people in a way that makes them feel like they're getting rewarded appropriately. And please remember, pay is not the be-all, end-all to motivation, to sustained effort, etc. In fact, in many cases, it can work against you. A lot of great research on that. And people want to feel they're getting theirs. So that's lesson number one. Lesson number two is don't let people misappropriate engagement to give them license to do harm or to at least not follow the rules, which typically leads to some level of harm. Running an organization with good people oriented around a common purpose and doing good by joining together in positive, productive ways, that is the point, and we need to be promoting that with all the tools we have. So be advised by this information. Don't be necessarily snowed under by this information. But it is important to recognize that these things can be true. We can pay people too little even when we're doing well and paying them well, and we can allow them to take too much license because they're working for a purpose that they believe is higher than themselves. Be well, do well. Talk to you soon.